Howdy, folks. Welcome to Tuesday's Tips. My name is Kenneth Thomas, and on Tuesdays, I like to give folks little tips and tricks for photography, video, and lighting. So, today's topic, let's see here. There we go. I didn't have everything set up the way it should have been. I apologize for that. All right, there we go. Cell phone portrait mode. Now, I've already talked about this before in a previous one, in the previous Tuesday's tips, but I kind of wanted to cover something here with it because I've been noticing a lot of folks doing some stuff with portrait mode, and I don't necessarily think they understand exactly what it's doing for them. Now, the first thing that you should know is that portrait mode is basically simulating a shallow depth of field that you can achieve by using a very large opening aperture in a regular camera. So the big thing is that this is software. It is not an actual aperture. Okay, so this is the cell phone's software simulating that shallow depth of field. And by shallow depth of field, what I'm talking about is the subject being clear and in focus, and the background being blurry and out of focus. A lot of professional portraits are done that way, and it's really a great photography technique. And it's all done with the way you have the settings applied to the lens. Now, the fact that this is software and not an actual physical aperture means that your phone is having to do some calculations and figuring out what is the subject and what isn't the subject, and apply the blurring that way. Now, this is something that is really very effective when you're talking about just one person or one subject being in the image. So when you have just the one person or the one subject, like if you're taking a picture of an object, the phone can figure it out. Oh, that must be the subject, and then it can apply its computer magic to that. Now, if you have and now this is really good for still photography with your cell phones, or if you're doing a video, like say you're doing a Zoom or you're doing something like this and you wanted to have everything behind you blurry, but you're not moving around, you're staying in one spot, then that's an excellent use of portrait mode. If you're going to be moving around, changing how far you are from the camera, using the portrait mode with that, or if you like if you're trying to video yourself doing a task, or you have multiple people in the video with you, that can be problematic. Once you get multiple subjects in or multiple focal distances involved, the software in the phone becomes less able to give you the results that you're wanting. So if you're going to have multiple people in an image and you want to have it done in portrait mode, you need to have them as close together as possible, and they need to be relatively even to each other, meaning one is not a whole lot further behind or in front of the other. You basically want them right next to each other, front to back and side to side. You want them as close as possible so that the software will go, oh, this whole thing here is the subject. Gotcha. If you've got people behind you, they're going to be blurred out because the person in front is going to be who is in focus. And that will be problematic. And if you're doing video and you've got multiple people walking around and it's front, people are in different distances and that kind of thing, you're definitely going to have people that are going to be in focus, out of focus, and it's just going to get confusing. So anytime you're doing something where you're not going to be just standing still in front of the camera and you're not, it's going to be pretty much like this setup is here. It's just me in a frame, nothing's moving. I'm moving around, but I'm not changing my position to the camera. That is a time that you can use that portrait mode in video. Other than that, I would encourage you not to use portrait mode ever in video. Because if you're doing the normal things that you would do with video, it's going to become very problematic and it's not going to give you the results you want. So again, if you're going to be doing, I'm filming a video and I want the background to be blurry, but I want to be in focus. And then that's a good time to use it. Otherwise, just leave it for your still images. And the other big benefit to doing it with the still images is you're able to take several of them to get the result that you're looking for. That's one nice thing about the portrait mode with cell phone photography is it's what we call a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Now, a lot of traditional cameras that are DSLR or SLR cameras, SLR stands for single lens reflex. And what this means is that you're actually looking through the lens. So with your normal single lens reflex camera, you're looking through the viewfinder and you got mirrors and prisms and stuff that are bouncing so that you can look straight through the lens, and that's how you compose your thing. Now, the problem is that your eyes don't see the same way that the camera lens does, and you cannot tell what is and isn't in focus as far as depth of field looking through the lens that way. Okay. With the portrait mode in your cell phone, you're going to see the result of what it's saying is this is the subject and this is the blurry background, and you'll be able to see, what you see is what you're getting. Now, one thing I like about my Sony digital mirrorless camera is that it's an electronic viewfinder, and it's showing me exactly what the sensor is going to be seeing and recording. So I'm looking through a little mini TV, a little mini image there that is actually showing me what I see, and that's what I'm going to get. So that's one benefit to a mirrorless camera. That's also another benefit to using your cell phone camera if you're using that portrait mode, is that you're going to actually be able to tell what's in focus, what's in that sharp focus, and what's going to be blurred, and what's going to have that kind of a look for you. So that is one definite benefit to doing portrait mode for still photography. And remember, it's not just for portraits of people. If you're wanting to do something that is like a still life type image, like you've got this really awesome birthday cake that you want to take a picture of, using portrait mode for that would also work very well, because your cake will now be the part that's in focus and everything else will not be. And that will help you have that emphasis, which is what you're trying to achieve with that shallow depth of field, or that appearance of shallow depth of field. So kind of a short one today, but if you want more of an explanation of which or how portrait mode works, I'm going to go ahead and once this video uploads in YouTube, I'm going to put a link to that video so that it'll pop up at the end of this video. In the meantime, you can always jump on my YouTube channel and go back to the Tuesday's tips and look for portrait mode or any of the other subjects that may interest you, and you can find that yourself. And of course, if you're watching this on Facebook, please follow and give me some comments there in there. If you have questions or if you want something more specifically explained, I'd be happy to do that for you. If you're catching this on YouTube, of course, like and subscribe. For those of you who are catching this on replay, glad to see you guys catching this. So if you're catching this live, you see the live up. Oh, it's over on this side. I keep repeating. If you see the live right here, then drop me a 1 in the comments. If you're catching this on replay, drop a 2. If you're new to seeing me do my live streaming, drop a 3. I'd like to welcome you to the audience. Mondays, I'm here doing talking about mental health for Mental Health Mondays. Tuesdays is Tuesday's Tips, where I give tips for lighting, video, and photography. Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday, where I discuss different subjects for wellness. And Thursday is Thursday's Thoughts, where I give you my take on different things. And of course, then there's also the very popular Hummus Foodie Friday that I do with my lovely wife, Jessica. And we do that at 4 p.m. Central Time on Fridays. The rest of the week, I'm here around noon Central Time. And I hope to catch you guys on the next one. So until next time, folks, peace, love, and photography. And remember, everything can make a beautiful image, including you. Have a great afternoon.